It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. Welcome to the NBA on 2K Sports, along with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. For tonight's game, we'll be watching the Boston Celtics as they go up against the Chicago Bulls. Looking at the Bulls, 5-5 over their last 10 games, but they're not satisfied with 500 ball, looking to tack one onto the win tally tonight. So last year we saw Jimmy
on the road looking for a win against an Eastern Conference rival. The Chicago Bulls are ready for this thing to get started. Thrilled to be back in Boston. The Celtics ready for that home court advantage. And, of course, C.J. Miles. Even with him gone, they've shaken it off quickly and have really come together as a team.
You know what the trade means to me, guys, is they think some of their younger players are ready to spread their wings and take on a little more responsibility. They're going to get more minutes for those guys and allow them to see a little more playing time.
Clearly a forward-thinking deal, and even if his aren't the biggest shoes to fill, it still puts a lot of pressure on your young guys. And let's see if they're ready to fill that void.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So for Chicago right now, Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Andre Drummond is out there with Pau Gasol. And it's Wright in at the small forward position. So the Chicago Bulls able to put up the first points on the board. Sellinger, no good.
And there was a question of whether or not Derrick Rose would be able to get back to his former self. At times last season, you could see him back in that MVP form.
Here's Turner. That's in there. Thomas with the assist.
And it doesn't really matter who starts the break with how he runs the floor. He seems to always be the one who finishes.
Yeah, he is so fun to watch and how he attacks the rim at full speed like that, man. It's something to behold the way that guy gets to the rim.
And with Rose again, he showed flashes last season of his level of play, Clark, before the injury.
Yeah, exactly. And you hate to see any player go down with injuries, especially a talent like Derrick Rose. He still needs to show that he can regain that high level of NBA play for an entire season. I think that's just a matter of time, Kevin.
Clearly a foul.
Yeah, he took a shot there, earned those free throws.
Well, last year, Tyler Zeller both started and came off the bench, showed he could be an effective player even when playing heavy minutes.
Yeah, and if you look at the games that he played as a starter, he increased his usage, and it didn't bother his production at all.
And for Zeller last season, his numbers were the same or better as a starter. His scoring picked up a touch. Still had a great field goal percentage, too, so really solid production in his first couple of years.
Now here's Wright. He's averaging around 5.5 points a game. And it's Butler missing.
Well, I think he had all the space he needed. He just couldn't find the bottom of the net.
Thomas, it's a wide open look. Off to a good start as he hits his first shot attempt.
And I think the big thing for Zeller was that he found his role in the league. He knows he'll be an energy guy who has to make the most of his touches. And to his credit, he is nothing but a positive force on the floor. Here's Wright. Isaiah Thomas making his last shot. Shot clock at 5. Gasol's shot is good. If you're just tuning in, we played about 2.5 minutes here in the first. Earlier, Doris Burke spoke with head coach Fred Hoiberg. What'd you find out, DB?
Yes, he's looking at how they can establish an edge in this one. He's looking for them to lock things down on the interior first and foremost. He said our shot blocking is something that can really help us if we just play smart and avoid fouls. We want them shooting over length, and that's one thing my guys do bring to the table. A sound strategy, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris. So defense, it looks like, coming first for them today.
That's their identity. That's what they're all about. Their defense is really what sparks them.
And that has to be their spark if they're going to be successful. I mean, everything for them starts at the defensive end of the floor.
Here's Turner, following the score by Derrick Rose. Turner and Tyler Zeller on the bucket on the assist by Turner.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
Outside Rose. Wright sets a screen. Butler kicks to Wright off the pick. The rebound by Turner. Celtics have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. And here in the first quarter, with a little over 3.5 minutes played, off target at the rim. Rose with the ball. Now Thomas defending. Takes a shot at the elbow. Derrick Rose again. Rose has got 6.
Well, he knew how many inches he had over the guy. I mean, let's face it, good decision to just rise up and take the jump shot.
Outside Thomas. Sullinger outside. Pass to Bradley. Lets it go from 11. That one wide left.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play.
Shots good by Butler.
He always knows where his teammate's going to be, and Kevin, that will let him put the ball where he wants it, right waiting for him.
Now here's Zeller. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game. And it's Turner off the drive. A nice shot by Zeller. He has 6.
Really, the defense is helpless to stop a layup right there. Just too much of an advantage in terms of the mismatch.
Gasol kicks to Butler. And he uses the glass on the layup.
I tell you what, the post play has been rock solid right off the bat.
It really has, and they've created a lot of high percentage shots in the paint here already.
Now here's Zeller. He's got 6. Outside Bradley. The Celtics need to get a shot off. That one off the back iron and out.
It has not been an easy quarter for him, at least offensively speaking.
Bulls have had a great rebounding team for a long time now. Last season was no different.
It has so many categories to measure how well a team rebounds. The Bulls were in the top 3 in almost all of them.
As for the Bulls and rebounding, I mean, they were second in the league in winning contested rebounds. That's another data analytics stat for you folks. Second overall in total rebounds, too.
And with the big men the Bulls have, it's easy to see why they rebound so well. But make no mistake, guards and bigs alike rebound well on this Bulls team.
And so he makes both from the line. Last game for the Bulls, they picked up the W against the Suns.
And in that game, guys, I mean, the beneficiary of what was some very lackluster defense being played against them.
Agreed, guys. It was really quite shocking and disappointing how many free runs to the hoop they got. They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
Now here's Rose. A 23-point game for him in the win against Phoenix.
But his passing just blew me away. I mean, to see him operate their offense that way was a breath of fresh air.
And it goes out of bounds. That one is off Zeller. And they're on the 2K leaderboard of the teams that have been tormenting opponents defensively this month. In 4th, the Celtics.
Well, better protection of the lane the last few weeks, Kevin, has helped them cut down on the easy scoring. They've also done a better job on the mid-range coverage as well, getting to their man quicker and finding ways to clog up the passing lanes.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
Kelly Olynyk's checked in for the Celtics. Jay Crowder comes in for Turner. And Chicago also making a switch. Gibson's checked in. The Bulls have gone 7 of 11 from the field to begin the game. Rose passes to Gibson. To the middle. Here's Wright, and it's blocked. Now Thomas. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Pelicans in New Orleans.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates.
And the basket by Olynyk. And part of the reason why the Celtics are ahead of schedule in the rebuild is because of Coach Brad Stevens. He has everyone on the same page.
You know what? You talk around the league about Coach Stevens, and other coaches are just astounded confounded by his work ethic. People around the league think he's already a top coach. He could be one of the greats by the time he's done if he stays at the professional level.
Here's Bradley following the score by Derrick Rose. Bradley against Wright. Shot clock at 6. Back to Thomas. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
Wright outside. Got a piece of it. He had stolen by Sullinger. Bradley against Butler from 11 feet away. And Gibson sends it back. And now here comes Wright leading the break. The 10-footer. No basket with that shot. Having trouble finding his range. He's 1 for 5. Crowder with it. Now guarded by Gibson. Crowder dishes to Bradley. He kicks to Sullinger. Here's the screen. Pass to Thomas. A 3. No good. Some solid defense from Rose. And he banks in the layup. Rose has got 10 points in the game.
As hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan is simple, folks. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Bradley against Wright. The feed now to Thomas. With the floater, that's good.
You know, his pace makes him really hard to keep track of, guys. I mean, if you lose him, he'll explode to the rim on you.
Chicago calls timeout. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Urebko's checked in for Jared Sullinger, and Smart subbed in for Avery Bradley. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Splitters checked in for Gasol. Mirotic comes in for Wright. Aaron Brooks, he's checked in for Jimmy Butler. And it's Jordan Clarkson in for Derrick Rose. And here is Brooks. Taking a look at the scoring numbers, right now he averages about 9 points a game.
And with room like that off the pick, you have got to knock that one down.
Well, you know, they did everything right, Greg. They executed. All you want is a good look at the basket. Sometimes the shots just don't fall.
Thomas goes in. The game now all time. Thomas got 6.
Really aggressive play there, taking it to the rack against the big fella.
You know, Greg, aggressiveness is really the only option when you're on the wrong side of the size equation.
Now here's Brooks. The pass to Clarkson. Brooks outside. And again, Chicago. No good. Boston's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Now here's Smart. Brooks covering. Smart with the ball. He picked up 12 points in their last win against the Pelicans in New Orleans. Shot clock at 3. Elbow shot. That one a little long. Nikola Mirotic, drafted as a late first-rounder, Clark, back in 2011. The Spanish star finally made his rookie debut in the NBA last season, and it was worth the wait.
It sure was, Kevin. I mean, once he started to get consistent PT, I mean, he was remarkable. Can run like the wind for a big guy, not that strong, but more aggressive than you'd think.
Here's Smart. Aaron Brooks picking up that last basket. Crowder kicks to Olynyk. It's Jerebko, top of the key. Dishes it to Thomas. Again, Thomas missing. Chicago leading. 1:06 left in the first quarter. Shots good by Clarkson.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now, Greg, they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
So it's Boston now, after Chicago picking up a basket just moments ago. The Celtics shooting their 3rd free throw shot of the game.
And 75% on the season as a unit from the free throw line.
And so he hits the technical free throw. Well, last year for the Celtics, they weren't exactly world beaters at home. Still good enough, though, to get the job done.
Yeah, just a game over 500 here in Boston. Not great, but at least it was over 500 for a young up-and-coming team.
And a good offensive board, and he gets the bucket.
That was a good rebound right there, but they haven't been very strong on the glass so far.
Clark, a little disparity there in the rebound numbers, but some of that comes down to how the ball bounces. Let's see if it evens out.
Now here's Crowder, looking for his first basket still in this one. An easy layup after coming off the pick.
In that tight, with that much of an advantage height-wise, there's just not a lot the defense can do.
Here is Brooks. It's the screen. The drive by Brooks. And the defense really pressing up on him. Made that a tough shot. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Bulls lead by 3. And Celtics head coach Brad Stevens lured away from a very successful tenure with the Butler Bulls.
The only hard part of that decision is leaving a place that you really loved for 13 years. I couldn't have left without knowing that it was a place that we were going to stay together and really commit to a process together. And I was sold on that, and I continue to be sold on it.
I wonder if Coach Brad Stevens feels like he's recruiting another college class with all those draft picks lost in his stockpile.
Well, I don't know how he would address that question, but I do know he's feeling real good about his decision. I mean, taking the Celtics to the playoffs in just his 2nd season. I mean, I think he's one of the bright coaching stars in the NBA today. It was the NBA's gain and college basketball's loss when he moved on to the Celtics.
Well said. Well, it's been a tight one so far as we get the 2nd quarter going back here. And let's get your take, guys, on the scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
You've got to like the consistency with which they're hitting that mid-range jump.
Something else they've done a good job of tonight, right from the start, is penetrating and scoring.
They've got Smart. Jones is out there with Zeller. Then it's Turner. And it's Crowder in at the 2. That's who's in the game for the Celtics. The dish now to Butler. Pulls it up. No good. Now the Celtics take it the other way. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
And Kevin, they showed how important it is to have a strong bench. I mean, when you are on the road, that depth is vital. I think they really utilized the 2nd unit to extend their offensive assault and just really wore down their opponent.
And guys, I think what you saw from them throughout the game was teamwork. This is a team. Regardless of who was out there on the floor at any given time, they got it done. And that has to make you feel good as a group.
The shot by Clarkson, no good. The Celtics shooting has been great, up over 50%. In fact, 52%. Offside Jones. And that misses. That would have put him up. The Bulls shooting with confidence, 50% from the field so far. It's Prince on the wing. And count it from 19 feet away. Prince has got his first 2 points of the night. Boston trailing. Smart kicks to Turner. Feeds to Bradley. Bradley sets the pick for Smart. Turner passes to Bradley. 5 on the clock. From past the arc. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. The Bulls have gone 1 of 3 to start out the 2nd quarter. Clarkson with the ball. Now guarded by Smart. Clarkson dishes to Gibson. Passes it to Prince. Kicks to Butler. Drummond with a screen on Jones. Prince, that's for two. That's short off the rim.
That's one he knows he should have drained.
Now here's Smart. Looking in his numbers, he averages a bit over 9 points a game. And it's sent back by Drummond. Now, here's Clarkson. He's covered closely. Right side, Butler. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J. Butler's got 6 points.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
You know, Jimmy Butler is one of those guys who had to overcome major odds just to get to the NBA. Reportedly, his father abandoned the family when Jimmy was an infant. Mom kicked Jimmy out when he was 13. The obstacles and adversity go on, yet he's made it and made it big.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what the head coach of the Chicago Bulls was going over in his huddle. Derrick Rose was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. Coach emphasized getting him as many touches as possible, saying he is going to be one of the guys to carry us the rest of the way. Well, Coach not wasting any time in tweaking the game plan. We'll see if it makes a difference as we approach halftime, Kevin.
All right, Doris, thank you very much. And going back to Jimmy Butler, there were just so many times when he was set up to fail. He was not heavily recruited out of high school. He was even homeless when he was in high school in the Houston area. Went to a junior college, then Marquette, now in the NBA. So he played his freshman year at a junior college, which I think humbled him just a bit, but maybe gave him that work ethic that is so much, Greg, a part of his game now.
And Kevin, the talent was there. And most of all, as we see how he dealt with adversity, the heart was there. He blocked out the distractions and finally transferred to a major college and worked his way into becoming a first-round pick.
Prince misses.
He certainly didn't take advantage of the poor defense, but they can't count on him to continue missing.
I tell you what, I think he'd be happy if he can continue to get looks like that.
So they take the lead. Bradley's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. Several lead changes going on here in the early portion of this game.
Yeah, but neither team really able to jump ahead.
Yeah, it reminds me of that cameo song, Back and Forth.
That's tipped. Butler against Turner. He dishes it to Sullinger. Nice ball movement by Boston. Thomas kicks to Bradley. Back to Thomas. The second effort. It's hauled in by the Bulls.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Rose attacking, and that one's good. Rose has got 12 in the game.
He's played an important role in their offense today, guys. Without him, they may not be in the lead.
Thomas passes to Sullinger. Outside Bradley. From the stripe. That's good on the jump shot. Bradley's got his second basket of the night.
The defender was spinning around like an agitator in the washing machine after that crossover.
I think you're right. Looks a little bit dizzy after that one.
Good. 8 points for Jimmy Butler. Clark, 8 lead changes now, and we're still just in the first half.
You know, both teams showing a lot of resilience, I think. Coming back and coming back, back and forth, back and forth.
Reminds me of a song.
Yeah, Kevin, that's cameo, to be exact. And I'm not sure I've seen a game with more lead changes this early.
And Tyler Zeller's going to pick up the foul. That's foul number 2 for him. White, he's checked in for Tayshaun Prince. Chicago's gone 0-2 from deep here in the second. Drummond with a screen on Thomas. Rose kicks to Drummond. And Pau Gasol, the bucket on the assist by Drummond. And now it's a 3-point Chicago lead.
3 consecutive baskets have come right at the rim. The defense had better start buckling down and tightening up.
guys. They are getting exposed in terms of their low post defense.
From deep, Thomas. That's good. Thomas got it all tied up now for Boston.
And really, how about the quick release on that triple there, because he's given up a lot of height in that matchup.
Right on target you are, Greg. I mean, the quick release is what made the difference there. Any hesitation, and that shot is being blocked.
And that one's good. Drummond.
And guys, they continue to put a lot of pressure on the interior defenders with the way they work down low.
It's becoming a theme in this game, Clark. They are piling up the points in the paint.
Thomas kicks to Sullinger. Gasol with the steal. And here we go. The Bulls fast break. And it's Wright missing. The Celtics have gone 5 of 11 from the field since the beginning of the second quarter. Shots good by Turner. Turner's got his second bucket of the game to go.
That's a quick bucket there. Solid in transition.
Well, you know, he loves the chance to get out and run, and we could see right there why he does.
Gasol a screen. Three-pointer. Butler. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
And fellas, in this quarter, he's improved on what was already a very good performance in period number 1.
Rose against Thomas. Down low. Zeller. Beautiful dish, and the layup goes down. Zeller's got 4 points in the quarter.
Give an assist there, not for the pass, but for the solid screen set on the inside that freed him up and made the layup possible.
Well, you could see a change in the play with the Celtics after the trade deadline last year. Adding Isaiah Thomas gave them some pop off the bench and really created some balance for them offensively.
He feeds it to Sullinger. Outside Thomas. Shot clock at 6. Back to Sullinger. And the go-ahead bucket, no good.
Yeah, but the hand in the face, it's critical that you contest his shots every time down the floor.
They grabbed their own miss and stolen by Thomas. Now Turner, 14 points from him the last game against New Orleans.
And also, his assist total tells you about the job he did of keeping his head up and keeping his teammates involved.
And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. For a franchise that had so much success under his tenure, there was sure a lot of friction with Tom Thibodeau, and the Bulls front office surprised a lot of people, I know, including yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's not something that you see often, a winning coach at odds with his GM and president. With how often their differences came up, though, you knew something was afoot.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Sullinger. Urebko comes in for Evan Turner. And Jake Crowder's subbed in for Avery Bradley. Thomas a screen. Out to the right wing. There's the pick. Here's Zeller. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Thomas got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Chicago's gone 3 of 6 tonight when they've let it fly from downtown.
And with Thibs, he did end up getting fired from the Bulls this past season. Some saw it coming, but still, I think surprising given the level of success he had. His imprint is all over this Bulls team and the way they approach the game.
And here's Crowder. He averages a bit over 6 points a game. Urebko can't get it to go.
You know what, though? Sometimes you can be too open. I think it may have surprised him, and that's why he missed.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
And when you look at how Thibs got fired, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a coach can be let go. I mean, he didn't have any performance issues, but apparently clashed in some form or fashion with the front office. Sometimes that's all it takes to be asked to go somewhere else.
Looking at who's out there now for the Celtics. Harry Jones comes in for Tyler Zeller. And Smart subbed in for Thomas. And a change for the Bulls. Clarkson, he's checked in for Rose. Bulls always seem to be tough on the road, and last season no different. They would end with 23 road wins on the year.
And that number was good enough for the second most in the East. Unlike shooting, it's very hard for defenses to go cold, and that's why the Bulls have been so good on the road.
Brooks kicks to Mirotic. Pass to Clarkson. Lets the three fly. Rebounded by Urebko.
And guys, touching back on the Bulls on the road, to illustrate how good they are on the road, last season marked the 5th straight year of a road record of club 500. Incredible consistency as a franchise.
He got there late, but you do have to like the aggressiveness to go after the block. But that one's going to count.
Chicago making a switch here. Gibson's checked in. 1:39 left now here in the second.
Yeah, you know, here's another stat for the Bulls on the road. Since 2010, when Tom Thibodeau took over, the Bulls have won almost 60% of their road games. That's impressive.
And Mirotic throws it down. Clarky talked about a back-and-forth game. This is the definition of that.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I mean, not even through the first half, and it's been one heck of a battle.
You have to love these kinds of games, scoring-wise, keeping everybody on their toes.
Here's Jones. That one wide left.
Not pretty. You just got to shake off a miss like that.
Clarkson kicks to Mirotic. Pass to Brooks. Fires the three. And Boston with the rebound.
Boy, with an open look like that, he is so gifted. Man, you've got to play better defense. Eventually, he's going to make you pay.
Yeah, you can see he's still in rhythm, even though he misses that one. Almost always deadly when he's that open.
And the basket by Olynyk.
How much do you love to see the turnaround?
Chicago's gotten cold from deep in the second quarter, just 2 of 6 from long range. There's a good screen. Mirotic sets the screen for Gibson. From deep, Brooks, and that is good. Brooks has got 5 now.
A lot of space right there to get that shot off.
Not a very good job of the defender getting over the top of that screen in that particular play.
And it's a defensive 3-second violation. For Boston, they have had 7 opportunities at the free throw line and made good on 5 of them. And the technical free throw is good. There's 10 seconds left in the first half of basketball. Smart dishes to Jones. Here's Crowder. Can't hit the free throw line jump. And we're through the first half of basketball here in what's been a good one. It's Chicago up by 1. And a chance now to send you over to Doris Burke standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Kevin, I have Derrick Rose, and Derrick, you guys were scoring pretty nicely as a unit here tonight. How do you facilitate that?
Just be more efficient. I'm taking less shots, making sure that I make my shots and take my time on the offensive end and get people involved in the game.
Thank you, Derrick. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you so much, Doris. Great interview as always. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back with the second half of basketball shortly.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith, and it's the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Derrick Rose taking care of business in this one. He had 12 points and 5 assists. And Kenny, what did you think about what you saw from Chicago?
Well, the reserves really came through when they needed a spark. This is a close game. Any points you can get from your bench are huge. I thought the bench guys came in and inserted themselves like they wanted a starting spot. And that's what you want. Subs who are ready to produce the moment they step on the floor.
And Shaq, what are your thoughts on Boston?
They played some solid team basketball, Ernie. Pretty good. They were sharing the ball. We saw some nice feeds, a lot of movement. It wasn't 5 individuals out there. It was one cohesive unit, and they got the assist to show for it. Their rhythm was nice.
And that's going to do it for now as the second half is almost ready to get started. Back to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports crew. We're going to sit right here and wait for the end of the game and talk at you again.
Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. Really an incredible game from Tyler Zeller.
And he really just broke out the entire arsenal of post moves there in that first half.
And I think he might even have a few more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he'll break them out as we start heading down the stretch. I'm sure of that.
Taking a look at the Bulls. Rose is the 1 with Butler as the 2. Pau Gasol is out there with Terrell Wright. And it's Drummond in at the 5 down low. Drummond sets the screen for Rose. He kicks it to Wright, takes the 3. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Wright's got the first points of the second half up on the board for the Bulls. The Celtics trail by 4.
Derrick Rose possesses a great skill set, ball handling, passing, and understanding of how to score. First rookie to ever win the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge.
A nice shot by Zeller.
Buckets coming in bunches right now. He is just being big time.
About 1 minute played here in the second half. Rose. And that one hits back iron. Getting back to Rose, it's his extraordinary handle that allows him to get anywhere on the floor. Such confidence in the way he dribbles and drives, whether it's getting up in a position to set up a teammate, taking himself. He's the one very best at controlling that ball.
It's a great point. I mean, guys like D. Rose, Chris Paul, Steph Curry, Kyrie, they all have maximized that skill. I mean, the thing that separates him and puts him in that Russell Westbrook category is the pure physical strength. When healthy, he's able to play with. Let's look at the stats for Turner. How last month turned out for him. He's around 10 points per game, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. And this is the kind of strong, steady play you like to see. He's earning his keep and helping them win games.
And guys, they're finally getting the consistency they wanted to see from him. Look for that to continue.
And so Zeller nails both of them.
Zeller doing all sorts of things. He's got 17 points, and he's knocked down 5 shots at the charity stripe. Good numbers for him.
Yeah, they are. It's been a nice element of his game today.
Rose against Thomas. Thomas with the steal. And he finished it off with the lay-in. Thomas got the lead up to 2 now for Boston.
Great D. He picked it off and took it all the way for the solo finish.
Rose goes in. Again, Chicago.
I mean, he was great in his last game, Clark, and clearly he has not lost that love and feel.
Thomas against Rose. Thomas passes to Zeller. That's in there. Thomas with the assist. Thomas got 6 assists now in the game.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Splendid pass that time by Rose.
Time called here. The Celtics decide to talk it over. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season.
And here we go. The first in what will be a 3-game season series between the two teams.
Yeah, no splits here, partner. One team will have bragging rights, and a win tonight is the first step.
A little over 2.5 minutes off the clock in this final half of play. Outside Thomas. Gasol with the rebound.
Those are chances almost always you can rely on him to get you 2 points, but the D, just enough to keep him out of rhythm.
Here's Butler. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
It's been a good one for Butler. He has 11 points, and from long range, he's hit 1 3-pointer.
And when it's all said and done, I got a sneaky suspicion he's going to have a few more.
That free throw, no good. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be ahead of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
Drummond working against Zeller. Sullinger, a screen on right. And Turner kicks to Sullinger. No good off the pick.
To back up your point about the Celtics being in close games, I mean, their point differential on the year was less than where you would expect it to be for a team that made the playoffs. I mean, it really gives you an idea of how many close games they played.
It's good on the putback. And that's now 6 points for Andre Drummond.
You can't let someone of his skill go unbodied at the rim like that. Box him out. Get him away from the basket. He'll make you pay with tip-ins like you just saw.
Sullinger dishes to Bradley.
That's his first personal foul, second team foul.
Here's Thomas. He's got 14. And stolen by Wright. Rose with the ball. Outside Gasol. Tries from 16. Good. Now it's a 5-point Chicago lead.
Just such a good shooter from that range.
And you factor in his height advantage, it's almost unfair.
Gasol against Sullinger. Now the feed to Bradley. Zeller setting the pick for Bradley. And Butler sends it back. Here's Rose. 14 points for him. Now the pass to Butler. Drummond a screen, and there's the whistle. Illegal screen.
Yeah, you've got to make sure your feet are set when you set those screens, or they're going to call that on you.
Well, I thought maybe he was set. I know that's a difficult call to make, but I think they might have missed that one.
Tayshaun Prince is checked in for the Bulls. Bradley passes to Sullinger. Thomas against Rose. To the middle. It's tipped. Rejected by Gasol. Sullinger against Rose. Wright with a screen on Sullinger. A wide open look here for Wright. And all around the rim that time before dropping in.
And you can sense the momentum really starting to swing their way.
Yeah, they're taking charge here. I mean, there's no question about it, Greg. And the lead, I think, is just going to continue to grow and grow from here.
Sullinger outside. And Thomas has it in the corner. Picked by Zeller. Thomas kicks to Zeller. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. 21 points for Tyler Zeller. Chicago leading by 5. Outside Rose. To the paint. Here's Gasol. It's blocked. Thomas dishes to Sullinger. Feeds to Bradley. 11 feet away. Can't hit. Now Chicago takes it the other way. Prince kicks to Butler. Dishes it to Gasol. 11 feet out and he hits it. Gasol's got the lead up to 7 now for the Bulls.
That's a confident play there. Great execution.
Passes it to Sullinger. And stolen by Wright. Here's Butler, and there's the foul. It goes on Jimmy Butler. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
Excellent example of toughness and physicality on defense. Got his nose right in the middle of things and made a play.
Here's what Boston's going with right now. Kelly Olynyk's checked in for Zeller. Urebko comes in for Jared Sullinger. Jay Crowder's checked in for Evan Turner. And Smart subbed in for Avery Bradley. Outside Thomas, inside Olynyk, and down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
Nothing fancy there. Didn't need it.
Nope. His only concern right now, Clark, is getting the points on the board, and I don't mean style points.
I like the simplicity.
Well, there's also style just with the fact that he's able to have that kind of a finish, though. Still, I like that pretty one-handed flush.
Outside Thomas. The dish now to Olynyk. Kicks it to Crowder. And the layup's good off the glass. Now just a 3-point Bulls lead.
And it's coming easy for them right now. 5 baskets in a row in the paint.
And I say, hey, if it keeps working, go to it. Stay with it. I mean, until the defense responds and provides more resistance, keep making them pay.
Splitter passes to Brooks. 6 to shoot. Here's Prince. Knocks it loose.
And as far as jump shots go, that's what you have to continue to try and get.
I don't know how that one stayed out.
And watching Jay Crowder, he can really boost you up, Greg, and take you out of your game. One of the most physical wings, I think, in the NBA.
And not the most flexible athlete, but he makes up for that with that strength that you mentioned. It allows him to control the pace. I mean, he's a bumper and a grinder and hitting a big 3 out of nowhere. So he's what we call a true gamer.
Mirotic is checked in for Tayshaun Prince. And both free throws good for Thomas.
Looking at Jay Crowder, he got traded from Dallas to Boston in the Rondo deal last season. Nobody expected all that much from him. All he did was go out and become one of the most valuable players on that team.
When you talk about Jay Crowder, there are those that you win because of, and then there are guys like him that you win with. I mean, the guy who's going to take the charge, commit the hard foul, do what others won't, really shows the heart of a champion.
Jones checked in for Thomas. He makes 1 of 2 that time.
And the thing with Kelly Olynyk, he does some stuff that really helps you, and some also that will hurt. I mean, he's highly skilled. He's got the deep range, textbook positioning in terms of the post. A lot of tricky moves down there. Yet he has a hard time being effective against great athletes, which the NBA is filled with. So he's going to have to evolve as a basketball player if he wants to be effective.
The drive by Brooks. The call will go against Jerebko. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
You know what? Tried to step in and cut him off, but just didn't get there quick enough.
Yeah, he was 1 step late that time, Greg.
On defense, the Celtics. A 2-point game. Brooks kicks to Splitter. Crowder with the steal.
Turnovers weren't a story for him early on, but that's changed. And now they're definitely having trouble keeping possession and momentum.
That evens the score. Crowder's got 8 points. Going back to Kelly Olynyk, as a coach, you have to identify the matchups where he can be effective, because Clark is against explosive, long-limbed guys. They'll take advantage of him.
Yeah, they will, but in the right matchup, he's effective. He can help. He makes 35% of his threes, has done that for the last 2 years, and I think he gives you some toughness and rebounding as well. I like him as a second-unit player.
Smart dishes to Jerebko. He feeds it to Olynyk. Pass to Crowder for the lead. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%. 5 for 7. Brooks outside. Mirotic the screen. Brooks misses. Here's Boston now. They're on a 13-5 run. Smart wide open. He fires. And again, Boston with the triple.
Seems that every pass they make is leading to a score here. I mean, that's just exquisite ball movement.
And that's because the ball is looking for the best shot, and it's really paid off for them during the run.
Brooks outside. Just 5 to shoot. To the right side. Here's Mirotic, and he can't answer back. The 3-pointer offline. Crowder, the pass to Smart. They set the screen to the inside, and Gibson sends it back.
Get back, get back!
Clarkson kicks to Splitter. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And the one thing Thiago Splitter gives you every year, Clark, it's consistency. The numbers, the effort, the results, all very familiar every year.
Yeah, his game is really built on the intangibles. He hustles, he knows where he's supposed to be, he gets to the right spot at the right time, crashes the boards, takes charges. He does all the little stuff.
Jimmy Butler, he's checked in for Chicago. And Splitter drops them both.
And for Tiago Splitter, he's been a relatively unsung player in his career, never getting his number called on offense, receiving little recognition from the media, but providing tough defense in the post. He shot over 55%, crashes the boards in the 20 minutes or so a game that he gets. So that's been good enough to really establish a productive career.
Pass to Clarkson. To the wing right side. Mirotic gets the bucket. Mirotic has got it all tied up now for the Bulls.
You know, getting back to Splitter, yes, you need superstars to win in this league, but you also need guys like him, guys who put the team first, will bust the gut to carry out their responsibilities on the floor, off the court, and in the locker room. You need all of that to be a championship team.
About 3 seconds between shot and game clock. There's the feed to Smart. They set the pick. Olynyk up top. Pulls up. High post. Chicago grabs the miss.
Well, I think the defense got lucky right there. I mean, he's going to make a lot more of those than he misses when he's got that much room.
Mirotic dishes to Gibson. Olynyk. Shot is off. Tie game in Boston. And we'll have the start of the fourth quarter for you as soon as we get back from this short break. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first three, we should be in for a treat. Chicago's gotten a lot of looks from outside tonight, 5 of 12. The big men are Sullinger and Olynyk. Thomas is out there with Jay Crowder. And it's Turner in at the 3. That's the Boston 5. Here's Thomas. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. Thomas got the first basket as we get going in the fourth for the Celtics. Now here's Rose. Knocked loose. Thomas. He dishes it to Crowder. Lock at 6. Back to Thomas. Nice D from Rose.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take. Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync, tremendous communication and awareness.
Crowder the pass to Thomas. Now here's Crowder, defended by Butler. Back to Thomas from deep. Again, Thomas missing.
He's still looking for his first three-pointer of the second half after making just one in the first.
And the wide open shot from Rose. And Wright kicks to Drummond. And the dunk to finish it off. A beauty.
Reverse that one home. Now that was nice. Real nice.
The agility on display.
Yeah, you love that body control.
How about the power and grace on that finish?
Sullinger outside. All sorts of time. Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got rebound number 7 for him tonight. Rose dishes to Butler. Rebound Boston.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. And here is Olynyk. There's the triple. Andre Drummond grabs the miss. Drummond's got his 5th rebound in this one. Butler on the wing. 18 feet out. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time.
Assist from
Rose has got his assist totals piling up. 11 now for him. Now here's Crowder. Defense right on him. He kicks to Turner. Now the pass to Olynyk. Sullinger right side. Nice shot from the wing. Chicago calls timeout.
And really, the Bulls weathered a lot of injuries last season and still had a good showing in the East. Came away with the 3 seed when many thought they would sink down after missing so many games from key players.
All right, let's go over to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Well, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what the head coach of the Chicago Bulls was going over in his huddle. He's looking for whatever they have left in the tank. He said, I know it's been a hard-fought game, but now's not the time to leave anything in reserve. If you're tired, come out. Otherwise, I expect you to be going all out, full speed. Guys?
All right, Doris, thanks. And the Bulls did end up with the 3rd seed in the East, 33 of their 50 wins last year, Clark, coming in the Eastern Conference.
But it wasn't an even distribution of those wins for the Bulls. Against their own division in the Southeast, they played .500 basketball. They got their good in-conference record from feasting on the Atlantic teams, taking 16 wins in 18 games against that division. That's excellent defense right there on the perimeter.
And Drummond kicks to right. Feeds it to Gasol. That one is good. He's only missed 1 shot of his 6 taken on the floor. Celtics trail by 4. Guys, they're looking for a way to score here.
Yeah, they've had a tough time getting the lid off the basket so far. How about that fantastic finish and the aggressive move, too, Kevin?
Trying to send a message, Clark, with that slam, I think.
And I'm not sure if it was text or email, but he definitely threw that one down.
For Boston, they've gone 3 of 8 here in the 4th quarter. Bradley with the ball, and Rose picks him up defensively. Sullinger the screen. Bradley against Rose. Outside Turner. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Here's Thomas to tie it up. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. They get Paul Gasol.
Boy, perfect half at the free throw line for him. That'll help their comeback effort for real.
And Clark, those free throws need to continue if they're going to get back in this game.
Well, you know, last season I thought the Celtics made some strong waves in the East. I mean, they kept fighting and fighting all season long, and they ended up in the playoffs because of that never-give-up attitude.
And for the Celtics, 28 of their 40 wins on the season came against the East. Not impressive, but they got the job done in a conference which could be had at times, obviously.
That's true, but what should be noted, Kevin, about the Celtics against the East is just how well they played against the Eastern Conference playoff teams.
Right.
I mean, against the East top 8, they shot a lot better and executed a lot better as well. So you could see them stepping up their game against the competition.
That freed up. Nice work off the pitch. 20 points for Isaiah Thomas.
You can't afford to get him that kind of a look.
Well, you know, he came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to do a better job of fighting over and through that.
Drummond with a screen on Sullinger. Gasol passes to right. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Just absolute domination in this one for Wright. He has 17 points, and he sprayed home 3 3-pointers as well.
This is really production personified for the long range.
The first one falls. And so Wright nails both of them. Celtics trail by 3. Thomas with the ball. Picked by Zeller. Here's Bradley. To the middle. Here's Sullinger. And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. Andre Drummond picks one up. And for Sullinger last season, further indication, Clark, that he needs to keep working on his conditioning.
And that was a concern coming into the league with Jared, is just how committed would he be to working on his body all the time and maintaining the level of conditioning that he needs. And injuries have been a part of that not being the case, but when he's out there, he's capable.
Bradley against Butler. Now here's Rose. 5 on the clock. Score the basket, his 8th. 8 for 13 from the floor.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Thomas kicks to Bradley. Rebound by the Bulls. Gasol's got rebound number 9 now. What an effort here tonight. Rose dishes to Butler. Gasol passes to Drummond. Good-looking screen by Gasol. And Wright kicks to Rose. Wright sets a screen for Rose. This one for 3. No luck. Good work defensively by Turner. Celtics trail by 3. Fires from 14. Chicago grabs the miss. Drummond's got 6 rebounds now in the game. Bulls have gotten into a pretty good groove, going 6 of 10 here in the final quarter. Wright dishes to Gasol. Excellent D from Thomas. Boston's gone 0 of 3 so far in the 4th quarter from long range. Dishes to Turner. That one falls, coming off of Thomas's feet. Turner's got the game tied up here for the Celtics. The Bulls shooting 55% in the 4th. They are executing late. And it's Rose penetrating. Wright, that's a 2-pointer, and good, he nails it. Wright's got 11 in the second half.
And you can just see he's a different player since coming back from halftime.
Now a timeout called by Boston. You look at Darrell Wright, he's really been playing well.
He just continues to light them up. They're going to have to find a way to make him work harder for his point.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Pau Gasol.
Taj Gibson.
Here's Bradley. Outside Thomas. Back to Bradley. Pass to Zeller. With nobody on him, he buries the jumper. Zeller's got 26 points.
And you're starting to see some tired legs on those defenders as we come down the stretch here, Clark.
Butler is screen on Thomas. And looks like the illegal pick was set. Yep, that's right. That'll get their attention.
Well, that's a close call there on the illegal screen.
But I'd go along with it, Greg. I mean, it didn't look like his feet were set to me.
The dish to Sullinger. Kicks it to Zeller. Pass to Bradley to take the lead. The rebound by Gibson. Gibson's got 4 rebounds in this game.
The game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding has been the one differentiator thus far.
And, Greg, we've seen it time and time again in games. Effort and determination on the glass can make up for a lot of other weaknesses.
4 on the shot clock. That's a 2 from Butler, and Jared Sullinger picks up the foul. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
That's his 2nd personal foul.
Here's Rose. Butler passes to Drummond. 1 on the clock. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim. Drummond's got 6 points in the quarter.
And really a good job spotting his teammate near the bucket and then just pinpoint passing for the finish.
Now Thomas. Bradley, no one around him. Good, and the assist goes to Thomas. Thomas got his assist totals piling up. 11 now for him. Outside Rose. He feeds it to Gibson. Pass to Drummond. It's stolen by Sullinger. Thomas against Rose. Outside Thomas. Sullinger the screen. Thomas kicks to Sullinger.
Check out the game for Sullinger. He has 11 points, a couple of nice steals, too.
And guys, he's been making play after play on both ends of the floor.
No let up in him, and that's mindset. That's not just physical tenacity, but that's a mental tenacity, too, that he brings to the court.
So he gets them both, and it's a three-point game.
You know, they've really improved at the line from the first half. Things have gotten a lot better. They've gotten there a good number of times, and they've converted a high percentage of them.
Time called here. The Bulls decide to talk it over. They trail by 3. A minute 50 left in the fourth quarter. Rose against Thomas. Rose attacking on his 15th shot attempt. He makes his 9th basket, shooting a healthy 60% tonight.
They're forcing the ball inside, and it's working beautifully.
It really is. 5 out of 6 of their last field goals have come from the paint.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're ahead by 1. A minute 42 left in the fourth quarter of this one. A minute 42 left here in the fourth quarter. Sullinger, the screen. Turner against Wright. Here's Thomas, the feed to Sullinger. And that one's good. And the Celtics lead by 3.
You know, one aspect of their play today that's really been tight and far superior is their passing.
And that kind of flow can be elusive, but the great offenses have it, and that's just what they've shown here tonight.
So it's Chicago now. Back to Rose. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way.
Huge turnover there, and at a bad time, too. You have to value every possession.
Now a timeout called by Boston. They're in front by 3. A minute 20 left in the fourth quarter. A minute 20 left in the fourth quarter. Thomas. Zeller dishes to Thomas. Good D by Drummond.
The defense ready for him on that possession. They had to be, because he is so strong in the paint.
Outside Rose. He dishes it to Butler. Drummond with a screen on Turner. Just 5 on the clock. And here's Rose outside. It's going to be a 24-second shot clock violation. They turn it over.
I mean, you've got to have more awareness on the floor and not make those kinds of errors.
Yeah, brain fade, brain neutral error, and those will cost you.
This guy just isn't missing today. I mean, what a day he's had from the field.
And, you know, they've needed every one of those shots he's made, Greg. He's kept them in the ball game here.
We've got 33 seconds left to play here in the fourth. And now they decide to foul intentionally. He drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 7-point game.
Perfectly done at the stripe there. That brings their lead up to an even more comfortable level.
Chicago calls timeout. They're trailing by 7. 29 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Butler. He kicks it to Gibson. Good D by Sullinger. Clark, one thing we've seen from these guys is excellent ball movement.
And you love to see that, Kevin. I mean, I love watching unselfish play, and I know Greg enjoys that too.
No doubt about it. It's fun to watch the way they're operating as a team right now. They are all in sync.
And here is Thomas. And so it's the Boston Celtics with the W. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but Clark, in the end, everyone's satisfied.
Yeah, you know, it looked like for a moment there the outcome was in doubt, but give them a lot of credit for hanging tough, persevering, and finishing strong.
And the 2K Sports postgame show.
Many thanks, Kevin. So now we move on to our Jordan Player of the Game, Tyler Zeller, who notched his season high, and his scoring really seemed to set the tempo for his team tonight.
He was dead on from the field tonight, guys. I'd call his performance economical because there was no wasted opportunities. He took advantage of every good look he got. I mean, everything he put up was going in.
Well, his ability to get into the paint and get to the rim was deadly. For a guy who's mainly a perimeter shooter, it was remarkable how many of his points came right at the bucket.
And that'll do it for tonight. For Kenny Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, Kevin Harlan, and our illustrious 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Have a good night, everybody.